Hey, political junkies, welcome back to Agenda Now. Today I'm taking you inside one of the most intense moments in the Senate, where things got seriously heated over tariffs. If you think trade policy is just boring paperwork, think again. This senator, he's not holding back, and small businesses across America are caught in the crossfire. So, picture this, Senator Peter Welch, sleeves rolled up, looking straight at the White House's nominee for a top trade job. He starts polite. Thanks for being here, but then, boom, he's coming in hot. His big gripe? Total unpredictability. One day tariffs are up, next day they're down, and no one can tell you why. For small business owners in Vermont and, honestly, anywhere, that kind of chaos isn't just annoying, it's dangerous. You can't plan inventory, you can't hire people, you can't even sign a contract without wondering if tomorrow your costs will double. Welch lays it out. It's tough enough to deal with tariffs, but when they change day to day, you can't plan, you can't survive. That's not political spin, that's a lifeline for real people. Then he zeroes in on Mr. Gutman, the nominee, demanding a straight answer. Will you commit to a stable, reliable tariff policy? Gutman dodges. He talks about flexibility and leverage, but Welch isn't having it. You can almost hear his frustration. This sounds like empty rhetoric. He's not being mean, he's just desperate for real answers, and honestly, who can blame him? But it doesn't stop there. Welch shifts to Ms. Callahan. She's got an impressive resume, but he's got tough questions for her too. He brings up Iowa soybean farmers who've lost their biggest buyers in China because of tariff wars. Their crops are rotting, their bills are piling up, and all they're hearing is that this is somehow leverage. Meanwhile, their livelihoods are collapsing. If you're finding this as eye-opening as I am, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, this is the kind of deep dive I do every week. Welch doesn't just throw out statistics, he reads real quotes from Vermonters. A coffee roaster says, "The U.S. government is destroying our business." A sporting goods owner, "The rapidly changing tariff environment is killing us." These are real people, real losses, and Welch isn't making it about party lines, he's making it about survival. He ends with a direct plea. Take this message to the president, let him know how people are hurting. And then, almost quietly, he pivots. Did you know Social Security's death benefit is still just $255, same as 1955? In today's world, funerals cost thousands. Welch wants that fixed too. So here's my question. Are these tariffs protecting American jobs, or crushing the very businesses they're supposed to help? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you care about transparency and accountability, subscribe, like, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. I thank all the witnesses for being here. And just at the outset, I do disagree with the administration tariff policy, as many of us do, and I understand that it's not for you to decide what that policy is, it's for you to implement it. But I do want to ask some questions. Mr. Gutman, we've had a number, basic question is this: if there is to be any tariff policy, is there an advantage that it be consistent?
Thank you for that question, Senator. I think that the policies, the tariff policies of the president have resulted in significant
I'm not
acceptance.
asking that. I get it. I mean, I get it that he believes in them, and I get it that all of you have a job to implement them. But I'm asking a really simple question. Small businesses are having their heads explode in Vermont because the tariff policy that they're subjected to, they don't like the tariffs. But what they can't deal with is that they change from day to day. I mean, the president saw an ad on TV he didn't like from Canada, and he increased the tariffs by 10%. So what my business folks are saying to me is, Peter, it's tough enough to deal with the tariff, but if we don't know what it is from day to day, that is going to make our very difficult job all the more much worse. And I'm asking, basically, do they have a common sense concern about having whatever it is, the tariff policy, it be consistent and reliable and something they can plan on?
Senator, I think that we have been engaging in reversing decades of, unfair trade.
This is very
policies.
frustrating. The frustration here, I'm not holding you responsible for what the tariff policy is. That's the president. He got elected, and he's entitled to pursue it. I believe it should be Congress's responsibility on it. But I'm just asking, you'll have a very major position, as you will, and you'll be giving advice to the president. And let me ask you this. Would you say, President, why don't we get a tariff policy and then have that be something folks can rely on and count on? Is that something you'd suggest to the president is a good idea?
Senator, again, as part of negotiations, things change, and it's important to maintain leverage to get the outcomes that we want that are supporting American jobs and small businesses in particular.
All right. I mean, you know, politicians we get accused rightly oftentimes of empty rhetoric. And I won't suggest that's what it is, but it's not an answer to the question. Let me ask you, Ms. Perkins, some questions. You have got an incredible resume, and or Ms. Callahan, an incredible resume, and I was very impressed in our meeting in the office. So I clearly think you have the skills and experience to do a very good job. So I am going to ask you a couple of questions about what's happening to our farm economy. You know, these tariffs are, all of our farms, the dairy farms in Vermont to soybean farms in Iowa, they operate on a very thin margin. And we had a hearing with Senator Grassley yesterday. And of course, we had some Iowa soybean farmers who can't sell their product. And I mean, is there, in your view, a link between the tariffs that have been imposed and the complete loss of market opportunities in China for our Iowa soybean farmers?
Thank you, Senator Welch. And really, from my own perspective, negotiating the agreements on reciprocal trade, it's actually the opposite situation where previously, the United States had an average agricultural tariff imposed on imports of 5%, while we were negotiating with countries that have 10, 15, 20, 30% average tariffs on U.S. agricultural goods going into those countries. So the reciprocal tariffs have really allowed the leverage that we can get both removal of non-tariff barriers that have prevented U.S. agricultural goods from accessing markets, and also bringing those incredibly high tariffs down so that the United States can compete on a level playing field.
The bottom line here, you did not address what I said, and you don't dispute as a fact, that our Iowa farmers have not sold a bushel of soybeans to China, and they're getting hammered. I'm just going to end with a quote that really reflects the dismay among our businesses. These are practical people. A lot of them voted for the president, but they got to run a business. Bill Wilson runs a Birds and Beans Coffee in Manchester. The whole tariff system is making managing our Vermont-based family business a nightmare for me and my daughter. The U.S. government is destroying our business. Simon Perkins, who recently ran Orvis, the reality is that a rapidly changing tariff environment is killing us. Peter Case Burrows Sports. I mean, this is small businesses. These are folks that are in our communities, your community and mine. We love what we do and we're under attack. For 90 years, Burrows Sports has proudly served Brattleboro, growing with our community through good times and hard. Today's economic pressures, rising cost and shrinking margins are testing small local businesses like never before. But now the very people who are in place to help are threatening the very way we conduct our business. They're getting hammered with steel tariffs. I guess I'm going to end by making a plea to you. You've got a job. You've been appointed by the president. You are going to be implementing his tariff policy. But there is dismay among everyday people running businesses about the ever-changing nature of these tariffs. It's really had a dramatic impact on our tourism business in Vermont. It's really hurting. So at the end of the day, my hope is that the reality of what is happening to our farmers, to our bike shop owners, our coffee bean sellers, gets delivered to the president so there can be some adjustment. And I do have one last question. I'm getting a little latitude here from the chair, but I do want to ask one on Social Security. You know, the death benefit when your spouse dies is $255. And today, that was in 1955, and today's money, that'd be over $3,000. We haven't adjusted since, and I've got a bill in so that we would bring up that benefit to reflect inflation. Is that something you would support?
Senator, I know this is something you're passionate about and a bill that you've been working on for some time.
I can't hear you.
I know this is an issue you've been working on for some time, and I'm sympathetic to it. It'd be inappropriate for me to comment not being there, whether I can support
Well, you
it or
think 1955 funeral benefit works in 2025?
not. The costs have certainly gone up, Senator. I agree with you
Well,
on that.
I hope I can get your support on that. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, thank you. I yield back.